Hey guys, I wanted to talk about fear and perception today. This is something that came up in a health coaching session with a client this morning, and it really got me thinking. So, this video is going to be a little longer, but I promise it's worth it. Um, all of us experience fear. Fear is a normal human emotion. However, the way we handle that fear is either something that we learn from and grow from, or it can be completely debilitating to our progress. This client was talking to me about how she's been experiencing anxiety over the fear of public speaking. And when I asked her why, she didn't know. So I wanted to dig a little deeper with her and explore, what's the worst thing that can happen if you speak publicly in front of someone. And she said, nothing. People might not like what I'm saying, or, they might actually feel bad for me because they can see that I'm nervous, but really nothing's bad is going to happen. So I told her this story. I'm going to read it for you. It's a little long. It's from my devotional. It's the Confident Women's Devotional by Joyce Meyer, and it's called Confronting Fear. I once heard a story of a village where the children were told, whatever you do, don't go near the top of the mountain. It's where the monster lives. One day, some brave young men decided they wanted to see the monster and defeat it. Halfway up the mountain, they encountered a huge roar and a terrible stench. Half the men ran down the mountain screaming. The other half of the group got farther up the mountain and noticed the monster was smaller than they had expected, but it continued to roar and emit such a stench that all but one man ran away. As he took another step forward, the monster shrank to the size of a man. Another step, and it shrank again. It was still hideously ugly and stank, but the man could actually pick it up and hold it in the palm of his hand. He said to the monster, "Who are you?" In a tiny, high-pitched voice, the monster squeaked, "My name is Fear." So I think that's such a great story for how so many of us view fear. It's this big, crazy thing that we're so afraid of it affecting us, and then once we finally confront it, it really turns out to be not a big deal at all. So I just want to encourage you guys to face your fears and put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and then stepping back to the perception. So, in this situation, my client, sorry, something blaring. Okay. So, my client was afraid of how she would be perceived when she's public speaking. But the thing is that this is twofold. One, you can't predict how someone perceives you unless they tell you. And that's a different situation. And two, it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks about you. Of course, there are a small group of people in everyone's life who you should care what they think about you, but those are people that you are in loving, committed, and trusting relationships with, and they have your best interest in mind, so they're just going to be honest with you. But in this situation, she gave the example of a coworker who said that she's too honest because she says everything how it is. And I asked her if she thought that was a bad thing, and she said no. And sometimes we put our own fears on other people. So in that situation, that person probably didn't like something that she said to him because it brought out an insecure or a fearful feeling in him. Therefore, he put it back on her to try to make her feel those emotions instead. So just a reminder, be confident in yourself. Don't think about how you're perceived to others. If you are your best version of yourself and you're emitting positivity to others, then at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like you, who cares? Also, go out, face your fears, and kill it. Talk to you guys tomorrow.